Welcome to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. On today's show, what will it take for the Cowboys to avoid their third consecutive loss? Plus, Eric Dickerson and Terrell Owens join the show to talk Randy Moss's Hall of Fame credentials. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar drops by to discuss Lonzo Ball and the Lakers. We've got a packed show today. Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. The 5-5 Cowboys host the 4-6 Chargers tomorrow on Thanksgiving. Dallas has been blown out the last 2 weeks, but they are expected to get all-pro left tackle Tyron Smith back tomorrow. Dak Prescott has struggled big time in Smith's absence with 6 turnovers and 12 sacks. Yesterday, Dak talked about how crucial the game is for Dallas. Let's take a listen.
It's going to show the character of our team, and we've got the choice to go 11-5 right now, or 5-11, or anything in between. So it's about us coming in and coming to work every day. Show the character and the fight that we have to be 11-5. For me, it's just about being the same, no matter if it's winning or losing, adversity or what. It's about being the same and never wavering, never showing lack of confidence in myself and my teammates in this team. So it's about just being there for them and keeping them going and having all the confidence that we'll go 11-5 moving forward.
Shannon, who wins?
Y'all need to talk about worry about winning this next game. You talk about 11-5. See, that's the problem. Looking all the way down the road, and danger is right around the corner. It ain't right down the road.
Go ahead.
3-4 miles.
Rub it in. Pile on.
Skill.
It's okay.
No.
Enjoy your moments while it lasts.
No, he's talking about down the road 11-5.
He did.
Danger is right around the corner.
What did you want him to say? We quit for the rest of
No,
the year? We're not going to show up tomorrow? Happy Thanksgiving, Chargers?
I want him to say we're trying to go 1-0. I ain't worried about 11-5.
Okay.
How that worked out for you?
Well, yeah.
But anyway, as I was saying, this is a very, very important game for the Dallas Cowboys, Skip. And Tyron Smith, if he's back, that would be a big boost for them. But I don't really know, coming off an injury, having to face Melvin Ingram and Joey Bosa, I don't know if those are the two guys that I really want to be come back, and I'm somewhat hobbled dealing with.
You know how groins go.
Yeah.
You're a little dicey, like, can you
no,
move?
if I'm Melvin Ingram and Bosa, the first couple of times I'm going to bully. Because I want to see if he can drop his hips and hold me out. And then I'm going to try to bend the edge and give him a lot of different things. I'm going to give him a lot of different looks.
I would want to see how quickly he can sidestep. That's
Well,
what
I'm going to line up wide and see how he can kick out to me. That thing might be a little tender.
Like,
I'm just going to see. Just make sure everything's okay. The doctors told me to test him out a little bit, George, so I'm going to make sure everything's okay. If you look at the Chargers defense, last 6 games, 15 turnovers. That's why they've kind of climbed their way back into this AFC West, plus the fact that Kansas City can't somehow find a way to win a ball game. I like the Chargers because they can run the ball with Melvin Gordon.
They can.
Phillip Rivers is, fiery, this type of quarterback I would have loved to have played with. They got big-time receivers. Keenan Allen is rounding back into form after a couple of years of injuries. Williams, the first-round draft pick, he came back, played well for him last week. Don't know if Travis Benjamin's going to be in the lineup.
I think he will. He practiced limited yesterday.
Hunter Henry is doing a very good job. He's going to be the transition you see from Antonio Gates to Hunter Henry.
I like him.
I like him, too. I like him, too, Skip. But the problem with the Cowboys, Skip, is that you keep saying this, Dak, we don't need it. I'm glad. I'm kind of glad. I hate to say this, but I'm kind of glad. Because now he, for once and for all, he can shut up all the naysayers that do not believe in Dak Prescott.
I said that.
Remember, I said, now we're going to have either he's going to answer a lot of questions or there are going to be a lot of questions still need to be answered.
You called it, flash in the pan.
There you go, Skip. Why
you did.
Why
you did. I'm helping you. I'm making your case.
No. All I'm saying is there will be questions that remain unanswered if this thing goes to the left as opposed to him keeping it in the middle of the road. Because this is what we know, Skip. In his first, all these, Dak is unbelievable. But when you got that guy doing this right here, it makes your job a lot easier. Because this is what we know, Skip. 28 points a game with Zeke. 8 points a game without him. Now, the quarterback is still there. Now, hold up. Is there another quarterback? Is somebody filling in for Dak? No. Oh.
No.
So now you're getting an opportunity to see what I've been trying to tell you, and a lot of pundits have been telling you.
Completely exposed.
No,
well, that's what you're telling me. I'm just making your case.
Skip.
Keep going. You're hot. You're on a roll.
All I'm saying is that Dak fell into the perfect situation. The 3 best offensive linemen, the number 4 running back in the draft who turned out to be an all-pro. Exactly. It was utopia.
He was the creation of all of the above. He was. One-hit wonder. It's okay.
And
Keep going.
Well, this is what we know. And so we'll find out tomorrow. I got the Chargers big. Thanksgiving big. I'm talking about, I got me one of them old 12-pound turkeys. I'm talking about one of them old 23 ones. Joy, more extra large, big old bird. Ooh,
I thought you were eating possum.
The turkey, them
Fried turkey.
Oh, no,
right?
I want the fried.
Well, you can fry
I want that dressing.
Yeah, but this is going to be fried turkey.
I want them collard green with them turkey necks bogged down up in them, Joy.
Yeah.
31-20.
31-20.
Chargers.
11. Woo, I like that. So, to your point, Dallas opened at home as a 3.5-point favorite, but the bettors said, what?
Yeah.
What? And they bet it and bet it and bet it down. And all of a sudden, at this moment, Dallas is a 1-point underdog at Jerry World. To a San Diego team, LA. I'll probably do that 4 more times before this is over. But I told you before the year how much I loved this Chargers team because I said it would be my long shot pick of the year to steal the AFC West. And it still has a chance, believe it or not, to steal the AFC West. And if not for a rookie kicker who got cut after 2 games, they would have won their first 2 games, in my humble estimation, because he missed 2 late kicks that cost them the game, remember, at Denver. And then at home, they lost to Jay Cutler at home because of a missed walk-off chip shot field goal. So here they come. They're on a roll. And basically, I think you think that they're going to turn Dak Prescott into Nathan Peterman, right?
No.
Well, that's what you think. Well, that's what they did. They did it to Nathan Peterman last week. We saw what they did, right?
Why you do that?
I'm not doing anything. I'm trying to help your case here.
Why does it have to be all the way to the left or all the way to the right?
Your
Why can't it
score
be
is
like
actually
middle?
a little low. I mean, I'm surprised you've got it that close. You could go up if you want to.
Oh, you think 11 points close in an NFL game?
Well, I thought he'd at least make it 2 touchdowns.
No. It's
30.
plenty.
Come on,
It's
34 to 20.
31-20 is plenty.
31 to 20 is plenty. So, my man Shannon Sharpe across from me is now feeling himself.
Oh, Lord.
He is finally on an undisputed roll. He is front running.
What?
He is piling on, and I love it because he's finally gone a little too far. So, right here, right now, before I make my pick, I dare you to give me the Cowboys plus 10.
No.
I'll just take 10. Well, you just said it was 11.
You're at
Why
home.
wouldn't give
You're
me
at
10?
home. You got
give
Dak.
Me 10.
You got Dak that's Brady-esque.
But
So
you just did a ho, Joy. We're going to carve up this turkey. Did you not just do that? Why don't you put your do where your mouth is?
No, you're
Put your do where your mouth
First of all,
is.
I mean, this is
Dak Prescott got exposed. He's a creation of Ezekiel Elliott.
it's
You
a-
know it and I know it. We saw it.
It's a Thanksgiving Day game. We
So?
know the Cowboys will give their best
Oh, so now
effort.
you're making the case back for the
No.
Cowboys?
They're going to give their best effort. That's why it's going to be 11. If they didn't give their best effort, it'll be 20.
How about just one bottle of Diet
No.
Coke? One bottle.
No.
Why? That's what you
No.
always say to me.
No.
One bottle of Propel. Let's have one bottle of Propel.
I have yet to receive my Propel also.
Yeah. Okay. I think you lost it back to me.
No.
Yeah, I think you did. So you are chickening out after you front run for 3 days on this show, and you're chickening out on giving me Dallas plus 10 when you know and I know they're dead in the water.
No.
I already conceded to the Philadelphia Eagles.
No.
I said, you won the NFC East. It's probable now that the Eagles are going to have a home NFC championship game. That's the way it shapes up, right?
And
so
Dallas
it's your guy.
And Dallas
Winston
won't have
Lifetime.
Dallas won't have a playoff game.
Okay.
So
Okay. So you don't have the guts to do it.
I do. I just picked them 31-20. That was guts.
Okay, will you give me 9 points?
No.
Listen to this.
I will give you what they score.
I hear no courage of conviction on the other side of the table.
Whatever
I
Dallas-
hear a little fear.
No.
I hear a little front-running fear.
Hold on.
Huh? I see a little sweat.
What's your prediction?
Huh?
What's your prediction?
What's
Who
my
you got?
prediction? I'm going to walk you through what's about to happen. I still believe in Dak Prescott.
Okay.
And I told you he finally, after 26 straight high-level NFL starts, starting with the first game of his rookie year, he had a bad game against the Philadelphia Eagles last Sunday night. But I have some new hope and heart because yesterday Dak Prescott talked about a play that was a 3rd and 6 play at the Eagles 29 in the second quarter. The game was 7-6 Philly at that point. Max blitz, Jim Schwartz threw kitchen sink at Dak Prescott. And he went right back to his quote-unquote hot receiver, the one you're supposed to go to. The guy in single coverage was number 88 on the outside. And if we could see that play, he just sort of flings it up in the end zone, because this is what Tony Romo used to do consistently and get away with it. And wait, look at 88. He's kind of fallen down, and it looked like, once again, didn't it look like the cornerback is actually running his route for him?
Yeah.
The cornerback's more open than Dez is, right?
I mean, what you want him to do, Skip?
Huh?
The ball, it wasn't like the ball was perfectly thrown.
No, but I'm just saying, why go to that guy again?
Who are you going to?
Dak Prescott, he said he saw Cole Beasley open on a shallow cross. I'm not sure I see that on that.
He might
I'm
have,
not sure.
but was he going to have an opportunity to get it to Cole Beasley? It's easy to say he was open after the ball's up in the air.
Yeah, I think he'd have to just throw it up the way he did, up maybe for grabs over the middle, because Cole Beasley might have had a step across the middle. I don't know if we can see it. And might have been able to run past the safety and catch it on the fly.
No, it wasn't going to happen.
Okay, but the point is, what I loved was Dak had a public confession of, I shouldn't have tried to force the ball to 88 again. And what I loved about Dak's rookie year was, after game number 1, he said, after Dez Bryant complained about not getting enough footballs, he said, I will throw it to him when he's open. Well, at this point in Dez Bryant's career, and we're going to talk about this more in depth a little later with one Terrell Owens, Dez Bryant's a shell of himself. I don't know what's happened, but do you look at these numbers? They're just horrendous for Dez Bryant.
Skip, if you don't mind me interjecting right quick, what you loved about Dak's rookie season is he had the 3 best offensive linemen and that eating machine, Zeke Elliott. Now he doesn't have those hedges. He's getting exposed. I can see his front door.
What happened was Cole Beasley last year at this point had caught 53 passes. Now he's got 26 catches. That's the big difference in what's happened to this offense. You know why? Because defenses said, you know what? Dez Bryant can't beat anybody. So why not just stick our best corner on Dez and double Cole Beasley underneath?
That's what you should do.
Brackets.
Yeah.
Bracket him.
Yeah.
Take him out of the game. So now Dak, who's very good at his progressions, he looks for Cole Beasley, and it's like, he's not there anymore, right?
Okay, yeah.
So he looks back to single-covered 88, and he can't get open.
If you don't mind me asking, do you think they bracketed Julian Edelman? Do you think they bracketed Wes Welker? Or do you think they bracketed Antonio Brown when he's in the slot? Or Odell Beckham? They find a way.
Except that's the greatest quarterback ever, finding a way to those guys, right?
Oh, so
it's a second-year guy.
Oh, Skip, no. Second year, he won 11 straight. He's already arrived. He's already at that destination.
So, you know what? If you told me that Bryce Butler was starting for Dez Bryant tomorrow, I would pick Dallas, because I love Bryce Butler, and every time you throw it to him, only good things happen. Any receiver in this league who's caught 10 or more balls, guess who has the highest yards per catch in the NFL this season? Bryce Butler. Guess who's 6'3", 220 to Dez's 6'2", 220? Bryce Butler. Guess who can outrun Dez like running backwards? Bryce Butler.
Okay, you will have that Alvin Harper syndrome.
Yeah,
you look at him catching a few passes. He got those big plays.
I covered Alvin Harper, and he wasn't even, it's disrespectful you've even put him in the same sentence with Michael Irvin.
Hold on, no. I'm putting him in the same sentence as Bryce Butler. Dez Bryant is the Michael Irvin in this offense. So that's what I'm saying. You looking at a few, because remember, that's what happened with Gillisley. Remember, he's in Buffalo? He get like 3 or 4 carries a game, and he's got like an 8-9 yard average. How is it when he's the bell cow in New England?
He was a healthy scratch last week. That's how good he is.
Exactly.
So Tom Brady didn't even have any run game.
So
just why he should be runaway MVP.
Stop it, Skip.
Stop it. No, I'm starting it. You started.
Yo,
I'm finishing.
Carson Wentz got a high degree of difficulty. He plays in the NFC.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I can see that.
If you don't mind me asking, one more thing before you go, Skip. One more thing before you go. If you don't mind me asking, who was picked to win the NFC East and who was picked to win the AFC East? If you don't mind me asking, could you? I'm sure you're a researcher. Tyler, what'd you tell him? New England was picked to win the AFC East. Dallas and the Giants.
New England was picked to win the Super Bowl by Shannon Sharpe.
Hold on.
Well, so what does that mean?
No.
You picked them to win the Super Bowl. No, you picked New England to be in the Super Bowl.
The Eagles were picked to finish 3rd in their division. And my guy, walk it to him Wentz, got him first in the NFL.
I don't get walk it to him.
Because when he throw the ball, it's like he walking it to his hand. Hey, there you go, take that. He 30 yards down the field, he walk it. Take that, son.
He was dinking and dunking
No,
against
stop
Dallas.
this. Oh,
He threw for 160 yards against Dallas.
How many did Dak throw
Against
for?
what I think is the worst defense in pro football.
Oh, you talking about dink and dunk Dak?
Yeah.
Got a shot, pop-up shot, dink and dunk.
Yeah, all he said yesterday was, I got to quit throwing it deep to Dez.
Oh, why you got to stop throwing it deep? Push the ball down the field, try to get his completion percentage up.
So, as you
noticed,
Tyron Smith is supposed to be back. And I'm not sure he's going to be back, but he is supposed to be because he did practice the last couple of days. So I'm going to trust that he's going to be in there. But Joey Bosa, who I campaigned for Dallas to take in that draft before they took Ezekiel Elliott, admitted on a conference call with Cowboy reporters or Dallas reporters yesterday that he really wanted to be a Cowboy. So you don't think he's going to be cranked for this game? He's going to be cranked.
Captain Bosa.
Yeah, Captain Bosa. So here he comes. So I still say it's all on Dak. And I say that Dak Prescott is made of the right stuff. I'm still buying Dak. You say he's been exposed, that he was a one-hit wonder. I say he will bounce back with a big game and that Dallas will score 28 points on a really good defense. But that brings me to the Cowboy defense. I'm going to have to be consistent in my opinion that I have stated on this show repeatedly all year long.
Okay.
No Sean Lee, no hope, no chance. I'm sorry, I've said it all along and I've been proven too right each time. Sean Lee has missed 4 games this year. In the second half of those 4 games, Dallas has been outscored 89-16. Compute that for me. 89-6. Is that not like wipeouts? All of them wipeouts? The Eagles ran for 180 yards in the second half alone. And it's all about no Sean Lee, plugging holes, taking backs out of the backfield, running the show, quarterbacking, the driving force of that defense. And by the way, he's still out. He is gone. I'm not sure he's going to come back this year. So Phillip Rivers has beaten Dallas twice in his career.
Beat him.
Yeah, beat him twice. Beat him once in San Diego, once at Jerry World in 2009, where he outdueled Tony Romo in both games. In fact, the second game, 2013, against Tony Romo in San Diego, he threw for 400-plus yards, 3 touchdowns. So I figure Phillip Rivers will start out dinking and dunking, and then he will pick this defense to pieces in the second half. So I can't pick Dallas because I'm dug in on no Sean Lee, no hope. So I'm going to go Chargers 30-28. But I would love to take 10 points right here, right now, because if you had the guts of your front-running conviction, huh?
Nope.
So you're over there gloating.
How am I gloating?
Arrogance.
What is that, Skip?
Huh?
How dare you say those things?
How dare you say those things? You're the all-time gloater I've ever encountered on television, and I want our audience to understand that he does not have the guts to give me 10 points after he said the Cowboys are dead in the water.
Where they do that at? Give up 10 points in an NFL game to the home team.
Lots of times.
With Dak Prescott as the quarterback. Because I told you this.
Well, you don't believe in him.
What has happened, Skip, is that the Cowboys' offense is their defense. And in the first half, they're able to keep the worst unit of their team, which is their defense, off the field. But in the second half, when they can't sustain drives, now you put that defense. And that's what Philly was able to do. That's why they got that drive, 75, 90, 80, kept them on the field. And so
180 yards rushing?
What about, hold on, can I, Skip, if you don't
mind.
Wait,
did Carson Wentz run the ball?
No, this is what, okay, I get it. Okay, no Sean Lee, no Sean Lee, no Sean Lee. Can you answer me this? Why can't the Cowboys score points in the second half, though? Sean Lee play offense?
It was 19-11 in time of possession. 19
so
minutes to 11 minutes.
So what did they do in 11
Help
minutes?
me out. Does that mean you only have the ball for 11 minutes?
So that's almost a quarter. So what did they do when they had the ball? That's what I want you to answer me.
Well, I guess they didn't do very much. I told you Dak Prescott had his first bad game of his 27-game NFL career. I'm going to say it again. Dak Prescott had a terrible game.
Now,
he won't have one this time.
Okay, how about this?
Want to bet on it? Want to give me 10?
We still don't know what Dak is.
You're afraid of Dak Prescott. That's the problem.
In Dak Prescott's last 2 games, 6 turnovers and 12 sacks. So what we're starting to see when you don't have that hedge of an offensive line, when you don't have the running game, you remember Washington when he threw for like 105 yards and he could just turn his hand around to that old eat machine with 150?
In a driving rain and windstorm?
Oh,
really?
Okay.
Okay.
So is there, hold on, I'm trying to find out the new rule that you can't throw the ball in the driving rainstorm. I'm trying to it's not in there.
Yeah, go check your play-by-play on what happened in the opening drive against the Redskins before it started raining and tell me how many passes he completed.
Isn't that a great luxury?
Help me out.
And guess what, Skip? It's also a great luxury when your quarterback is struggling like Dak is right now. They turn around and hand it to that guy like, okay, go get me 20. Go get me 15.
Okay, you told me he's
I don't want
exposed.
No,
it's
no.
Alfred Morris at running back, and you won't even give me 10 points? I'll take 9 points.
Dak got more turnovers in the last 2 games than Carson walking to him got in the whole season.
Okay, well, fine. You're right. So give me 9 points. I'll take 9 right now.
No.
Why?
I will give you
Tell me why you won't take 9. Because you're afraid of Dak Prescott. Because you know for 26 straight games, he made you look like a fool.
You're at home.
He
Head
made
up.
you look foolish.
No.
He did.
No. What about the playoff game?
Dak Prescott in the are you kidding me? Threw for over 300 yards.
Joe,
3 touchdowns. What do
Joe,
you want?
When you go to Pittsburgh, I'm trying to get some real estate. I want to open up one of my pop-up shops. You know, I'm serving the thing. Ooh, the thing hot. I serve a hot W's and L's.
He brought them back from, 21 to 3 down to 28 all and 31 all? Are you kidding me? What happened in the playoff game? Dak happened.
Mr. Bayless.
He outplayed. He had a better QBR than Aaron Rodgers did in that game and the game at Lambeau Field.
Mr. Bayless, what would you like today?
I would like 9 points, please. That's what I want.
I'm not giving those.
Come on.
I'm giving you
I want the audience to know what's happening here. He is scared of Dak Prescott tomorrow at Jerry World, Thanksgiving.
Hold on, Joy. I just want to make sure the audience at home can follow this.
They're following very closely. They get it.
He wants me to give him 9 points, and he picked against the team.
Yeah, it's the point spread. It's what a lot of people do. A lot of people think one team's going to win, but the other team's going to cover.
We don't do point spreads.
Yes, we do.
We do. You and I.
I'm doing point spread right here, right now.
Take the Cowboys.
Yeah.
If you take the Cowboys, head up.
Okay, will you give me 10 points?
No, I'm not giving you anything.
Okay, I'll pick Dallas if you give me 10 points.
No, I'm not picking
Why?
no 10 points.
Well, that's just stupid.
At home.
Huh?
No.
You're getting exposed like you say Dak is getting exposed. He's exposing you right now.
I'll give you 10 points if you give me 10 points when New England plays Pittsburgh at home. You give me 10 points.
10 points? Why would I do that?
Okay,
you're the one who's saying the Cowboys are trash.
Why would I do that?
You called the Dallas defense trash yesterday.
Garbage. I call garbage.
Garbage.
Yeah, trash.
Okay, garbage. I like that. That's even worse.
Yeah.
Garbage.
Yeah.
So give me 9 points.
No.
Huh? Come on.
Get him, Phillip.
No mercy.
This is Shannon Sharpe, and before the show moves along, a quick word about Home Depot and Husky Tools. They say in life there are no guarantees. Well, I'm here to tell you there just might be one exception. In 1924, Husky started making things for people who make things, and they did it with common sense. That meant adding function, never frills, and making tools that stood the test of time. 93 years later, Husky is still making quality-crafted, durable tools, and Husky stands by their hand tools for life, so they gave their hand tools a lifetime warranty. Like the Husky Ratchet, with a 100-position ratcheting design and a 10% longer handle than standard ratchets, or the virtually unbreakable Husky Flashlight with the ability to withstand a 30-foot drop, both guaranteed for a lifetime, built so you won't need it. Now that's a pretty sure thing, and to Husky, that's common sense. Husky, common sense tools since 1924, with hand tools guaranteed for a lifetime, found only at the Home Depot.
No mercy.
Our next guests are two of the most exciting players in NFL history. Terrell Owens is second all-time in receiving yards and third all-time in touchdown receptions, and Eric Dickerson has the single-season rushing record and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1999.
Look at
Terrell
that!
and
Look at that man run! If I could just run like that again,
Which you can't.
we ain't going there.
We're not
going into that. We're not going into that today.
By the way, I got to interject real quick. My wife, Ernestine, told me to tell this man he got robbed on Dancing with the Stars. She watches every second, and she said you should have won, so I said I'm passing it along. I don't watch. I don't know.
Thanks for that. I'm always getting robbed.
Touche.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll get to that in a second.
Great
But
segue,
you
right?
guys, yes, thank you for that. You guys have a partnership with NerdWallet. So Eric, tell us about that.
NerdWallet is a company that it kind of helps the young athlete or the young person figure out if what's the best credit card to have. Who's the best agent you can have as an athlete? Who's the best accountant you can have? I think if as an athlete, if I'd have had those options, because 9 times out of 10 it's put on the mother, the grandmother who's ever raising you, and they don't have the wherewithal to do that. Right. NerdWallet is a company that's been around for 10 years. It's not just a startup company, and it helps you to kind of guide you to the things you want to do. Okay, I want to buy a car. Who gives me the best interest rate? It gives you a bunch of go here, there, and I think it's just a great segue to help you to make those decisions, especially being a young athlete. You know, who's the best agent? You know, who's the best guy out there? You know, who's the best financial guy? You know, a real financial guy, not a guy saying, I'm a financial guy. You know, I know I do this. The real, as you know, you had a big brother, so it's different.
Yes, because a lot of times you get guys that's been in your life for an extended period of time, and you trust them because you've been around them a long time, but they're not used to handling money, especially that kind of money. And then, well, let's go get a car wash, or let's go get a barbershop, and the next thing you know, your money wash.
Exactly.
And so that's the thing. I'm glad you guys doing that.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's, as Edie said, it's a platform really for guys to manage their portfolio, their financial portfolio. And even with that, the North Raleigh company, it educates them at the same time.
Right.
And as you said, we have family and friends, and as you're getting into this money, everybody's coming out of the woodworks. Let's do this, let's do that. And I think I've fallen and made some mistakes and poor decisions and have been a victim of that. And so I think with me, I want to be a voice to help guys that are going into the league to avoid those pitfalls so they can be financially secure.
Yeah, that's very important.
Thank you.
Well, as T.O. just mentioned before we started talking about that, you guys are perfect for this next topic. Randy Moss was among 6 players in the first year of eligibility named Hall of Fame semifinalists yesterday. Moss is 4th all-time with 157 touchdowns, just 1 ahead of Terrell, who's a semifinalist for the 3rd straight year. ESPN reporter and Hall of Fame voter Jim Trotter tweeted this: "Discussion I'm most eager to hear when we vote in February is Randy Moss and Terrell Owens. Will those who refuse to vote for Owens because of character issues attempt to justify voting for Moss, who said he plays only when he wants to play, as numbers reflect?" So Shannon, I'll start with you. What's your reaction to Trotter's tweet?
I'm anxious to hear too, because I really am. Because let me tell you what they did. Either they wanted to keep the man out of the Hall of Fame so bad they changed the rules, because the bylaw says we're not to take any character issues or any off-the-field issues, which this man had no off-the-field issues. They said, you know what we're going to do now? If it happened on the sideline, if it happened in the locker room, that also will weigh in how we judge the player to get into the Hall of Fame. Now, we got some guys that's in the Hall of Fame. We know what they've done. I don't really need to mention any of those names, but they're there. So we know. You tell me the sport, any sport, that the guy finished 2nd in maybe scoring, or 2nd in home runs, or he was 2nd in assists, or 2nd in steals, and he's not in the Hall of Fame. He had to wait. What's this? Wait, he needs to wait. In the 98-year history of the NFL, there have been 3 men that's been first-team All-Pro on 3 different teams. Ted Hendricks, first ballot Hall of Famer. Deion Sanders, first ballot Hall of Famer. And this man immediate to my right. He got to wait 3 times. Now, I'm interesting to see, because I heard, and I know Jim Trotter very well, but I talked to some guys that were in that room, and it got downright contentious. It almost came off as hatred toward this man. It's going to be very interesting to see.
Okay, so how do you feel about Randy Moss?
He should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. Randy should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. But he did say, I play when I want to.
He did.
And given the choice, and I've said this before, I'm not saying this because they know me. I don't bite my tongue.
There you go.
I said if you gave me a choice, I would take T.O. Because you know what? I know every Sunday I'm going to get everything he got.
That's a
Run
fact.
play, pass play, it doesn't matter. He going to give it to me. Turn the tape on. The man told you he played when he want to. There are times he walked off the ball when he wouldn't get it. Run play, he walking off the ball. Hey, speak for itself. This man numbers says he should have. Forget it. Okay, I'm gonna put his name. His name is Matthew Johnson, and I'm gonna give you these numbers right here, and you tell me if he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I would say Matthew would be a first ballot Hall of
Okay,
Fame.
I'm done with it.
You know, it's funny you say that. You said that anybody who ended up 2nd, and the thing is, I wound up 2nd behind Walter Payton, and I was a first ballot Hall of Famer. But a sports writer told me, he came out, he said, Eric, I got something to tell you. He said, you were a unanimous decision, but one guy wouldn't vote for you. He said he wouldn't vote for you, but you know why? I said, no, why? He said, because you held out. He said, no, that didn't make sense to me. See, it shows that biasness that you talk about. I mean, look, and I said this all along. Here's a guy that played in the Super Bowl 39, with a broke leg against a very good Patriots defense. Now, you don't play if you don't care.
He's the best player on the field.
Would have broke. He had 122 yards, I think 9 catches for 122 yards. And I'm not here to say that, toot his horn, but you don't have to. It is what it is. I mean, you got certain guys. I always say, we're not talking about the battle. I've been in the battle. You know who can play. As a player, you know who can play. You know who can play. I mean, look over there and say, okay, we go to the film room. Okay.
Say it again. You go where?
You go to the film room.
Okay.
Hey, look, don't let this guy wind up in our backfield. Or don't let this guy wind up out there by himself. Double cover him. I mean, so it's just, it almost puts a black mark on the Hall of Fame voters who make these decisions because they don't, and it comes down to, they don't like you. I mean, now I got to say this too. My cousin, Dexter Manley, you know Dexter Manley.
do.
Dexter Manley deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. You can say he had drug problems, my friend LT had drug problems.
Yeah.
And they asked me, should LT be in the Hall of Fame? I'm like, you sound like a fool. Most definitely he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
I tell you what, watch the tape. But they said in the bylaws, in the original bylaws of the Hall of Fame voting, off the field issues should not weigh in. You're talking about what did the guy do between that 53-110? What did he do? Can you tell the NFL story without the guy that has 150 plus touchdowns, 15 plus thousand yards, over 1,000 catches? How do you tell that? He was the best. Think about it. When was T.O. not the best player on his team?
When he retired, he's still the best player. So there you go. All right, Skip.
Mr. Owens, what do you think?
About what?
Randy Moss.
I mean, if you look at the numbers, based on my numbers, and as he said, I mean, the bylaws are what they are. I mean, I'm not going to get on here and try to advocate for what I've said all along. I feel like my numbers speak for themselves. I mean, I've said it from day one. It is what it is. If you want to look at the character issues, all right, cool. I know who I am as a person.
Okay, but because you have been held out, so what are we up to? I'm lost. 3 years. Should Randy Moss be held out at least one time?
It's not my decision.
What's your gut? What's your opinion?
Based on what I've been held out for, why wouldn't they?
I agree with that. So, let me do the big picture here, because I went back last night and looked hard at this. And to your point, who'd you call him, Matthew Johnson?
Yes.
Okay, if you showed me Bob Smith's resume, and it was actually Randy Moss's resume, and
Yeah.
I put it up against Matthew Johnson's, man, they're pretty close.
Yeah.
They're like scary close, because you were a little later bloomer than he was.
Oh,
You
yeah,
were a little
absolutely.
bit in Jerry Rice's shadow out of UT Chattanooga.
Right, yeah.
And obviously Randy Moss, did he not hit the ground
Oh,
running?
Randy is a freak of
Whew,
nature.
He was a freak of nature right away as a rookie.
Right.
And he sort of, can we use the word revolutionized the deep pass in the National Football League as a rookie? And remember, he wanted Dallas to draft him. Remember what he did to Dallas on Thanksgiving Day that year?
5 catches, 3
1998?
touchdowns.
Whew, yeah. So then when you exploded, you had some good years early, but when the Jeff Garcia sort of era started, you had those 3 years that were just monster years that, to me, those three I can put them up against any three, like Randy's first 3 years in Minnesota, sensational years. And then each of you, ironically, had another, like a bounce back year. Obviously, Randy Moss was in 2007 with Tom Brady when he had 23 touchdowns, 1,493 yards. But when you got to Dallas with Tony Romo, these numbers are staggering to me, and it was the same year, and you actually got overshadowed by the year that Randy was having with Brady. Because you and Romo, you rocked that world, man. That was 1355. You only had 15 touchdowns, but in any other year, 15 might have led the league, right? And yet your yards per catch in Dallas in 07 were beyond Randy's with Tom Brady, 16.7 a catch to 15.2 a catch. So both of you played and won Super Bowl, didn't win the Super Bowl, but just 1-1.
Right.
And then 6 Pro Bowls for this man, 6 for Randy Moss, but this man had 5 first-team All-Pros to Randy's 4 first-team All-Pros, which is pretty low for Randy Moss to only make first-team 4 times. Okay, so let's go off the field, because we're going to have to do this because it's going to come up. So I'm not piling on here. I'm just restating the facts about Randy Moss. Remember, he had a big incident driving downtown in Minneapolis in which he, with his car, bumped into a traffic officer and got arrested, and they found marijuana in the car, and he had several marijuana incidents during his NFL career. He had a domestic abuse incident. It came and it went, but he did have one, and it happened. And then, to your point, he often admitted he played when he wanted to or took plays off. And to your point, I got to reiterate, this man, he was the opposite of taking plays off. I've never seen anybody play harder, play after play, played with anger, played mad, which is a good thing. And then, remember, Randy walked off the field before a game was over when they were barely losing.
Washington.
Yeah, we got that. He mooned. I didn't have
That was in
problem
Green
with it, but it happened. He squirted a ref with a water bottle because he was mad at him, and he bumped another referee and got fined for that. He verbally abused an entire busload of corporate sponsors on the way back from a practice. Do you remember this? And then a very
That's what got him out of Minnesota, I think.
Well, then the next one was a very popular Minnesota restaurateur that a lot of the players patronize this restaurant, served a big spread post-practice, and Randy said loudly to everybody listening, "I wouldn't feed this to my dog. Why are we eating this?" And that got him waived by the Vikings, okay? And then, obviously, he goes to Oakland, and he basically just kind of shut it down a little bit. I don't know. He didn't even seem to try in Oakland. Then he had the magic year with Belichick and Brady, and then it started.
He had a couple of
They were okay. They were okay, but it faded a little bit after that. And then that fourth game of the year at Miami, he had one target, no catches, and Bill Belichick said, "See ya," and traded him back to Minnesota. So Bill Belichick basically gave up on him. So that's
that was
the
3
resume.
teams in 1 year, right?
So here's the thing now, because all these writers talk about, oh yeah, he was great, but teams couldn't wait to get rid of T.O. So let me ask you a question: Could Minnesota not wait to get rid of him? What about Oakland? What about New England? What about Minnesota? What about Tennessee?
Well, at the end, it just went boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
Okay.
Now he's gonna be viewed differently now, Skip. You know why? Because he's in our business.
He's on television.
He's in the media
On
also.
television.
So that softened him up, Skip.
Maybe.
Because now Randy, how you doing? Now he comes in contact with them. They view him as a peer in the media business like they are. He will be judged differently than T.O. got judged.
But you know what I always used to hear about Lynn Swann when he was on TV? That a lot of voters didn't like the fact that he was, maybe that's the old days, but they didn't like him on TV because he was too big a deal. Right. Like that was overshadowing his playing career.
Right.
So he got held out for a while.
But I don't believe in that. I don't believe a guy should wait. I don't believe it's not your turn. Look here. When you look at the man's numbers, you tell me, I thought I knew ED. I watched a lot of tape. And I watched him on tape because we play some of the same teams. I watched Randy on tape. I know all of them. Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, I watched them all on tape. I'm telling you, given the choice to have anybody that's on the ballot this year at the wide receiver position, I would take T.O. over anybody else.
Matthew Johnson.
Yeah, Matthew Johnson. Why you booing?
He might have a better chance if he was Matthew.
Yeah, exactly. I might need to change my name.
To be honest, and I hate bringing my brother and he said, "Man, stop mentioning my name." You tell me for the 7 years he was in there, that he played from when he came into the league, 1988, his last year was 1994. You tell me a receiver, you tell me who put up better numbers than he did. The numbers, he had better numbers and more touchdowns than Jerry did in that time frame.
Wait, you're talking about Sterling?
Sterling Sharpe.
Oh,
Yes.
most definitely. Sterling was.
Honestly, he was a
If you
motivation.
played against Sterling, like I always say, double this guy. You hear it in the meeting? Double. You got to do something with this. Your brother was when they used to use the word beast, he was a true beast.
He was that first, that big body receiver
big
that you throw it to him, catch and run after the catch.
And get stiff on.
Shannon, I met your brother when I was in Chattanooga. Reggie White had a camp there in Chattanooga. That was the first time I had met Sterling. I saw him. That was really some of my inspiration for getting in the weight room because I was like, oh my gosh, this dude
is big. And
what?
Strong.
Yeah.
And that was part of my inspiration.
Okay,
Really.
so I'm to my bottom line here. To me, I would not vote for Randy Moss on first ballot because of everything I said. That's just me.
Right.
This is my 2 cents. And I'm going to restate my position quickly on Terrell. We've agreed to disagree like 15 times on this.
Okay.
But I thought because Terrell tore apart not 1 or 2, but 3 teams, kept 3 teams, wrecked 3 teams' chances, I thought, to get to the Super Bowl because all were very good. That's why I wouldn't have voted for him to be in the Hall of Fame. But again, I don't want to do it again. I'm just state. But again, back to Randy Moss. Do I think Randy was, just as a player, forget about all the off-field, do I think Randy was a little better than Terrell? I'll say a little better just because he was a little faster. He was a 4.2 40 guy, and you were in that 4.5-ish range.
Never got
right?
caught from behind.
No.
Somebody, how you get all them touchdowns there and you being that slow?
I know I was.
Okay, but wait a second. And I also think Randy had a little better hands, just a little bit, because he was freakish hands now.
Can I ask you a question, Skip? They keep saying that T.O. tore apart some teams that could have gone to the Super Bowls. You left Dallas. They been to the Super Bowl yet?
No.
Okay, you left Philly. They went to the Super Bowl yet?
Nope.
What about
San Francisco. Yeah, they went to one, but they didn't win it.
So I
Well,
mean,
maybe he left them all for dead. I don't know.
well, damn. But he left them for dead. But he goes to another team and becomes an All-Pro.
Yeah.
Well, damn.
Hey,
Look at all the quarterbacks that he had.
And they were 18-0?
18-0.
Who?
The Patriots.
The Patriots.
Oh, Patriots.
When we had it.
The Patriots, yeah.
And they had your guy, the best receiver, better
I'm just
hands
saying,
than me.
You were
I'm just
great
saying he
on the
was
field.
faster
Just
than
if
me.
we're doing just on the field, I don't use that word very often, but he was great, and I think Randy was a little great.
Well, I'm going to ask you this.
No,
okay, so
Randy is awesome.
Well, let me ask Skip this. So now, is it time? Is it his time? Yes or no?
This is not my opinion. This is my gut on it. This is not my 2 cents.
No, I want your opinion.
I think he will get voted in this time. I think Terrell will be in this time, in part because I've helped turn him into a sympathetic figure.
Yeah. Oh, go.
ED.
You asked me. Did you not ask me?
I did ask.
I just gave you my
You gave me
opinion.
your opinion.
But I tell you what, I'm gonna be anxious to see when this quarterback that plays in Pittsburgh, 5 years when he retire, I'm gonna see what those voters have to say.
Well, that's fair.
you
It's
talking
fair, Shannon. You're right.
Roethlisberger.
You are right.
You know
What?
Well,
I'm gonna see.
how that go. But remember one thing, he plays in Pittsburgh. You know,
So?
you get favored playing in Pittsburgh, being a Steeler. You know that.
Being a Cowboy.
It's like being a Cowboy.
So you should have played Cowboys. You'd have played like 2 more years at the Cowboys. But they love Cowboys. Yep.
No, they don't.
No mercy. The 9-1 Eagles are ranked #1 in the latest USA Today Power Rankings. Philly has the best record in football, and Carson Wentz leads the league with 25 touchdown passes. Tom Brady and the 8-2 Patriots are second on the list despite winning 6 games in a row. We're joined once again by Eric Dickerson and Terrell Owens, but Skip, I'll start with you. Do you agree with the rankings?
I do not agree with the rankings, and my partner across the table knows that I don't, because this is very simple to me. It boils down to one team has Tom Brady and the other has Carson Wentz. Really? You disagree? Oh, then we should let Terrell go second.
Every year.
And I want to reiterate something I said earlier in the show, just to show you how much faith I have in New England. In fact, he proposed the bet, and I took it. Then he rescinded the bet. But I have so much faith in New England that I am willing to give Pittsburgh 10 points when New England visits Pittsburgh on December the 17th. But I need 10 points in Dallas against the Chargers tomorrow, because he said that. What did you say the score is going to be? 31-20.
31-20.
Yeah.
Chargers.
Okay, but you won't give me 10 points in Dallas. So why does that make sense?
I got to say that don't
I
make
know.
sense.
Oh, dang.
That doesn't make sense.
What?
Another Hall of Famer said it makes no sense.
What
that
happened?
You won't do that bet.
No.
Huh?
I'm going to give you whatever Dallas scores, that's what points they got. So they go score 20, and the Chargers will have 31.
Okay, give me 10 then.
No.
Because if
Why?
you give me 10, then you still win by a point.
Think about this. You begging for points in a team that got Dak Prescott.
No, I want to just hold your feet to that fire that you're trying to start.
My feet's
over
on the fire. I said they weren't going to make the playoffs. I said they weren't going to have a winning record.
Okay,
I'm already in the fire.
I want to hear what Terrell says about Philly versus New England.
I mean, I think as the record as it stands right now, if you look at both of those teams, they're both top in their division. The Eagles are 9-1. Very impressive. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
They lost to the
Oh,
Chiefs.
they lost.
I mean-
lost that.
Lost to the Chiefs.
They lost to the Chiefs, but they beat Carolina.
They beat Carolina.
That's okay.
Philly beat Carolina.
Yeah.
Carolina beat New England.
Right.
Right.
So if you think about that and think about just the emergence of what Carson Wentz has been able to do, just compared to what they did last year, why wouldn't you think that it's fair to put them ahead of New England right now? Not just because of the quarterback, but just their level of play. Regardless if they've won 6 in a row or not. Just with the production of what the Eagles have been able to do based on last year.
I get that, but on a neutral field, right here, right now, your eye test tells you which team would win. New England or Philly?
Right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go. This is just rankings. This is not saying that they would win, but based on what they've done
So
to
you're
this
just going
date,
9-1 versus 8-2.
I
based
got Philly. I like Philly.
right, based
I like
on
their
where we
defense.
are right now.
As Dak, if Tom Brady don't know how good Philly's defense is, have him give Dak Prescott a call and say, Dak, what you think about that Philly defense? He's like, oh man, they forced 5 turnovers out of me, man. Hey man, they good.
Yeah, and I didn't have my left tackle.
No. What I didn't have is that old eat machine Zeke. Skip, here's the thing. If you look at Carson Wentz, what they were expected to finish 3rd in their division. They're the #1 team in the NFC. So forget
Okay,
that.
so I give you Cinderella of the year.
Ain't no
You can
Cinderella.
have it.
Ain't no Cinderella.
No?
No, Cinderella happened last year in Dallas. You see, you see that pumpkin? You see that carrot? You thought you had a carrot, it's a pumpkin, huh?
Yeah.
I told
I
you.
saw Cinderella scored 31 points against Green Bay in a playoff game.
I saw
It's
Green
pretty
Bay
good.
score 34.
Yeah, you did.
How many did they score last week? You keep telling me about Sean Lee's absence.
No,
Did Sean Lee play offense or defense?
He played defense.
So why can't they score more than 9 points? Why can't they score more than 14
Well,
points?
Sean Lee need to get on offense.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, you can't score when you don't have the ball.
But
get
when you
that?
have the ball, what you doing with it? Turning it over?
Well, you don't have a left tackle.
So now it's the left.
You know, Skip got it.
this
You know Houdini. You know Houdini. Poof. We got one out the hat.
Wait, is Tyron Smith not the best left tackle in pro football?
No, he was great. He's like in the 20s this year. He hadn't been playing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I hope he hears that.
Oh, but hold on, Skip. I remember a guy last year. You remember when they started the season? The first 4 games. What was Philly's record last year? They were 3-1. They lost their right tackle, Lane Johnson.
Then they had a bye week and they went bye-bye.
Oh, and they lost Lane Johnson. Whoop, okay, now left tackle leaves Dallas.
They didn't lose anything.
They
They
lost
put Big
their left
V
tackle
over
this year.
there.
Big V. Hold on. Eric Flowers is graded higher than Big V.
All I know is my eye test. Big V, every time he gets in, nothing happens. He just shuts somebody out.
Okay, you know what my eye test telling me? What my eye test telling me about old Zach?
Yeah.
I mean, old Dak Prescott. What my eye test tell me, Skip?
That he had one bad game out of his first 27 starts.
What was
on
Atlanta?
Sunday
Was
night.
Atlanta a bad game?
No, it wasn't that bad.
What about
I
the
thought
two-
he played pretty well.
Oh,
He
them
got
two
sacked 8 times.
What about them turnovers? What we gonna do about them turnovers?
Did either of them matter in the Atlanta game?
Oh, yeah, turnovers matter.
Are we talking about the Cowboys? Or are we talking
Yes, we
about?
are.
Go ahead.
What do you think about the
Are we
rankings?
talking about the Vikings? Are we talking about the Philly and the
He
Patriots?
mad.
We're talking about
We're
the
talking about 2 different things, huh?
Right, we done
Philly,
got-
Carson, walk it to him,
This
Wentz.
one started it, if I remember.
Walk it to
You
him.
did start it. You did start it. I'm gonna say this much here. If you look at it, Philly right now looks like the better team. Looks like the better team. They do. Offense, defense. They got. I mean, well, hold up, Skip. Let's just relax. You know, Philly has more weapons. I mean, they really do. They got receivers. They got Alshon Jeffries. They got Jai. They've got LeGarrette Blount. They've got Ertz. I mean, the defense is playing good. I mean, they all missing their left tackle. Carson Wentz is playing good. I mean,
No, good.
The
He playing great.
Yeah.
The defense.
Throw to the Tiger. Great.
The defense is playing great. But on the other side, you know, you've got 2 people over there for the Patriots.
Belichick and Brady.
You've got number 12, and you got a guy that, when he goes to the press conference, you got Belichick.
Do they scare you?
Yes.
Yes.
They scare me because they set the standard for winning. When in the Super Bowl last year, I was at the Super Bowl game. Everybody, this game is over. I left at halftime. I say, the second half is going to be a different game now. Remember, I told you that. This football team is so dangerous anytime that they're winning. What are we talking about when the season starts? Oh, the defense don't look that good. The defense this, the defense that. They're not playing great, but what are they? They're 8-2. Right. They're still winning. So if I had to go with an eye test, you know, you most definitely go with Philly, but your common sense, my common sense gonna tell me I have to go with New England.
Carson ain't gonna do nothing but get better.
Yeah.
He feeling good about himself.
Wait a minute. The problem is you don't have a whole lot of common sense.
Oh, no, you don't. I don't need that.
Right? Am I right?
I'm gonna be my guy's gonna be the MVP, which I told you he would be.
Yeah, maybe he will be.
Ain't no maybe.
Yeah.
You hoping.
No, I don't care. He can be.
25.
I just know if they meet at U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis in the Super Bowl, New England will win by 14.
I tell you what,
Right, but you're mad because of the rankings.
No, I'm not mad.
You're
I'm just
saying
telling
it's
you.
disrespectful.
It
whatever.
is disrespectful.
Why
That's
is it
true.
disrespectful?
Because it's not Dallas.
It can't,
please.
dude. It cannot be that disrespectful
Well,
based on what has happened this
I
year.
just know in your heart of hearts
No.
right now, you think New England's a little better than Philly.
No. Overall, like, yeah, if if they had to meet in the Super Bowl, I would have to go with New England Patriots. But as it stands today with the rankings, based on what I've seen this year, why can't you see that it's respectful to put the Eagles
Tom Brady's
above
playing
them?
at as high a level as he's ever played at age 40.
What about walk it to him? How's he playing?
I'll take Brady over Wentz.
I'm
any
saying
day.
how's he
take it.
playing? Let me ask you a question. Has Dak Prescott ever played this good?
Oh my God.
Yes, he has.
See, it's not, like you're confused as to how this always happens.
He ain't never
Keep
played
going back
that
to
good.
them Cowboys.
He never played that good.
Skip bringing this up.
I know it's
this
I know
He
one.
ain't never played that good.
He hits him where it hurts.
I know.
Hits him where it hurts.
He wanted
Every
to
day.
let the
They
Cowboys.
always said the Cowboys have to leave.
But let the
Back on
Cowboys.
half.
But let the Cowboys be 9-1. Oh, they should be number one. They got to be number one.
What? They'll be Super Bowl bound.
Yeah.
No Super Bowl this year.
Hey guys, Joy Taylor here with a quick word about an exciting new project here at Fox, executive produced by LeBron James. 89 Blocks is the first film from Fox Sports' new documentary series entitled Magnify. 89 Blocks is a story about the East St. Louis Flyers high school football team, but it goes far beyond the lines of the field. It's an in-depth look at a community on the edge and the enduring spirit of its people to continue following their dreams. Watch 89 Blocks this Sunday afternoon, November 26th on Fox. Check your local listings.
No mercy.
Saturday is a huge day of college football, and all starts with Ohio State at Michigan on Fox. Joel Klatt will call that game with Gus Johnson, and he joins us now.
But
Joel,
the
join
hair
us.
on my arms is raised up a little bit just watching that. Oh my goodness, the game.
What's the key?
Oh gosh, there's so many, right, with these two. And you can talk about emotion if you want to. You can talk about handling the big environment, in particular for Michigan coming off the loss to Wisconsin. But when you actually look through the data and you look at what these teams are over the last 2-3 seasons in their wins versus their losses, there are very stark differences that pop out. So the key for Michigan is very clearly running the football. Now, that's easy to say, but when you look at what they do in their wins versus their losses, they're running the ball for 222 yards per game under Harbaugh when they win. 5.2 average. In the losses, 82 yards per game, 2.3 average. It's stark. It's right there. If they can't run the football, Michigan doesn't win the game. Conversely, for Ohio State, it's really all about J.T. Barrett. When he plays well, they're one of the best teams in America. They can beat anybody in America. When he doesn't, they're very susceptible, like when he threw a pick on his first passing attempt against Iowa. It goes back for a pick six. He turns the ball over. Iowa started a possession 3 different times in Ohio State territory. They had the pick six. They scored 24 points on possessions that either started in Ohio State territory or were scored by their defense, in large part because Barrett was turning the ball over. If you look at his numbers in wins, 66% over his career, 8.3 yards per attempt, 95 touchdowns, 18 interceptions. Guys, in the losses, only 53%, 5.4 yards per attempt, 6 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. It's right there. Michigan's got to run it. J.T. Barrett's got to play great. Those are the two keys.
Skip. Yeah. Tell us how great Khaki Pants is. Remember, you sat here and told me, you told us he better than
What
Saint
did I just tell you about the Denver Broncos? They do not have a what? A quarterback. Jim Harbaugh still doesn't know exactly which
quarterback
guy is
guru
his
can't get
quarterback.
one?
That's a good
Go sit in the-
question.
go
Good
sit in the
question.
treehouse.
One of the top 5 quarterbacks ever, John Elway, can't find one?
No.
Really? Oh, that's interesting.
He can't recruit him.
Well, he hasn't yet, and I'm not even sure who's going to play because Brandon Peters
Yep,
has
he got knocked out
concussion.
last week.
I don't know
Concussion,
what
he's
happened.
in the protocol.
Yeah.
The earliest he could even practice is today via the NCAA concussion protocol.
So is it O'Korn? Is it Spate? I don't love any of those, but I still think this is a great spot for Jim Harbaugh to pull off a huge upset. And I don't even know how huge an upset it would be. Obviously, Michigan is not very good this year compared to what they were a year ago with their defense. But Ohio State, I just can't figure out. And you were alluding to it. When they're great, they are really, there are days, there are Saturdays I watch Ohio State and think, that could be the best team in the country.
Yeah.
And there are other days I watch disasters happen. I watch Baker Mayfield go in there and just tear them apart. And I thought, boy, they're really overrated. So who's showing up this time? I don't know. It's one of the great rivalries in all of sports, obviously. I envy you being there.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I realize you're going today, right?
Yes, I'm going to head out early.
And yet, on paper, I think that Ohio State should win fairly handily. But the game is played in Ann Arbor.
Yep.
When is Jim Harbaugh going to win something other than a recruiting battle? Now, I've seen him hold up a lot of things, photos of him in a bunk bed or him holding a yard marker on some high school kid's sideline or him in a treehouse. He ain't on no Big Ten titles yet.
Boy, he did pretty well at Stanford, didn't he?
What the hell they got to do with Michigan? They're not paying him to coach at Stanford.
Well, guess
paid
who
him-
he had?
They,
Oh, he had that guy.
they're paying him $9 million a year.
Could he coach at San Francisco?
You told me and Joel that he was better than St. Nick. You sat right in.
I like him as an all. How did St. Nick do as a Miami Dolphins coach? What happened, Joy? It was a disaster.
Hold on.
I'm talking about an all-around coach.
We are not talking about the
Okay.
Miami Dolphins, but when you look at guys that have had success at both levels, only Harbaugh can get in that same conversation with guys like Pete Carroll and Jimmy Johnson.
Yes.
They won titles at both levels. Harbaugh has not won a title, to your point.
Jim Harbaugh was really good with the 49ers.
He ain't won no title.
was great.
He ain't
Guess
won no
what?
title at any
Guess
level.
what he did with Alex Smith and then what he did with Colin Kaepernick. It was pretty great.
Okay, Skip.
Right?
Michigan is not paying him for what he did with Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick. They're paying him to beat Urban Meyer. They're paying him to coach against St. Nick.
Okay.
And he has yet to do either.
Well,
So when is it going to happen?
I wouldn't bet against him.
I would bet some on
Well,
it.
you're saying everybody's a bust. So
Bet
you're saying
money.
Harbaugh is a bust?
Bet money.
Who are you taking, Shannon?
I'll tell you what.
Ohio State.
Okay, I'll take Michigan head up, but you got to give me Dallas in 10.
No,
well,
head
why
up.
not? Have some guts.
Because both
You're
are at home.
such a
Both are at
betting
home.
coward. You're a betting
I'll
coward.
call what you want to.
Huh?
Hey, you call me a coward, but you can't call
Ohio
me a
State
fool.
at Michigan Saturday noon Eastern on Fox with Joel and Gus. Let's talk about the other big games.
Now we
Ooh,
talking.
here we go.
Now we
Number
talking.
one ranked Alabama travels to number 6 Auburn in the Iron Bowl. This game has huge playoff implications, and the winner will move on to play Georgia for the SEC championship. Joel, you right over there, Shannon?
Oh, now we finna
Here
talk
we go.
football.
Because ain't Nick's got a stanker going on down there,
I'll
doesn't
tell you
Because
what.
it's stinking.
Who wins, Joel?
Well, I really want to pick Auburn, and the only reason that I'm not going to is because Jalen Hurts plays great in big moments. He really does. I mean, last year against LSU on the road, he was great in the fourth quarter. Last year against Clemson, heck, if Deshaun Watson doesn't pull out kind of a miracle in that last drive, it's Jalen Hurts was the one that goes down and scores and wins the game. He
I
did it
thought
again
you
against
guys
Mississippi
didn't like
State.
Jalen Hurts last year.
Well, I'm just telling you, in big moments, the guy is pretty special. Now, here's the concern. Is Alabama susceptible right now? Absolutely. I think that they are more ripe to getting beat in the regular season right now than any time in the last 2 or 3 seasons, mainly because of the matchup issue. Auburn can run the football now. I mean, they can get after it. They did it against Georgia a couple of weeks ago, and Alabama is, for Alabama's sake, struggling stopping the run right now. They've given up 100 yards or more in 3 straight games on the ground. That even includes Mercer, by the way, last week, which that doesn't bode well. They gave up 3 rushing touchdowns to Mississippi State. That was the first time Saban's ever given up 3 rushing touchdowns. So the matchup favors Auburn. It absolutely favors Auburn.
But you love you some St. Nick.
I do, and he's just so much better than Gus Malzahn, and I trust Jalen Hurts over Jarrett Stidham. So I'm going to go with my coach quarterback combination at Alabama rather than Malzahn and Stidham. Because what have Malzahn and Stidham really done to earn my trust outside of beating maybe an overrated Georgia team? I'm not sure. So I'm gonna take Bama in a close game. This Auburn team is very good, but I don't think they're going to beat the Tide.
I'm nervous.
I'm too.
I'm nervous.
I mean,
You're admitting
for
you're
Alabama's
nervous?
sake,
Yeah. I'm
they're
nervous.
susceptible, aren't
Yeah,
they, man?
They are. All these injuries to the D-line and the linebackers, they're down to the second and third and sometimes fourth guys playing. Auburn is last year averaged 298 yards rushing entering the Iron Bowl. Bama held them to 66. Now, the thing that you can't do against Bama is line up with a fullback and an I-back, toss it to him or hand it to him and run it down their throat. But if you get in that spread set, you get the zone read like Cordell Jones and Zeke Elliott did in the college playoff, now you can have some success.
Yeah, or Clemson.
Some?
Yeah, those offenses. Yeah.
Those are the
Zeke went for 230 against
but when
St. Nick.
I look at Bama defenses, all I see is Victoria's Secret models. I see Lily Aldridge and Alejandro Ambrosio. All I see is one, Joy. Tanner Swain Poll. All I see is one. In the nation FBA points allowed first. Total yards allowed first.
I don't
yards
know
per
what
play
that meant.
first.
What was all that?
They won.
Victoria's
When Victoria's Secret
I
model.
thought they were 5 stars.
No.
I didn't know
Are we
ranking
reversing the
backwards. I thought-
rankings?
Yeah. They
it's
get
not
the
10
wings.
it's not 10
No,
anymore?
they get the wings. The one they got the wings, they come out there winging. You see it the other night? Boy, they were stepping like the Paladin Pride.
Always impressive.
Step girl with the 8-inch heels on.
What's happening?
It's St. Nick.
I don't know.
Look at this right here.
This is scary. It's
Right here.
just scary.
That's what you see.
I can't see that far across the table.
One, second, one.
Well, it also helps that they played the 63rd strength of schedule in
They,
the country.
you know what they say that?
Which,
they,
by the way, is the worst of any Power 5 school in the top 25.
They
You know
say-
that, right?
they
I mean,
say-
their schedule's the worst of any Power 5 school in the top 25.
They say that every year. And when they go to the college playoff, Washington was scoring 50 points, held them to 7. They played Michigan State, shut them out. They always say, oh, Alabama ain't playing nobody. But somehow, old St. Nick had the most stanks down there, Joy. Ooh, that smell.
I can smell it all the way from here.
It is coming for you.
This is kind of making me want to take Auburn right now. I gotta tell you.
He's
I'm
talking you
nervous.
into it?
I'm more nervous about this Auburn game than I was with
Yeah.
them playing Clemson last year in the bowl.
Yeah, listen, I was emphatically in Bama's corner before that Clemson game. Now, I was wrong.
Yeah.
But this one,
yeah.
I don't feel confident
Yeah.
about what Bama can do.
Well, somebody sitting at this table took Clemson a national championship game last year, and somebody has the courage of his convictions because somebody, me, is going to take Auburn in this game.
You took them the year before too. Make sure you tell Joel that.
Which
you
game?
took Clemson against Alabama
I
the year
did.
before.
Yeah,
so
they
you
shoulda won
50-50.
it.
You 50-50.
Okay.
Okay.
I wasn't on Undisputed then.
Yeah, but I know. I know.
Only this show,
Well,
only your record on
this
this
is
show.
the only show that counts.
No. I went back and watched tape.
You watched tape?
Yeah,
with
I
me
sure
on
do.
The other show?
Yeah, I sure
Well,
did.
I mean, technically Skip won more recently, so.
No.
You know.
Saint Nick.
That is a
So
technicality.
the other day, Ain't Nick
there
admitted
you
that
go.
he has had more starters lost to injury this year than in any year of his entire coaching career.
Yes.
4 linebackers are gone, not 1 or 2, but 4. So you've even lost your depth at linebacker.
Yes.
And this week they've lost their starting left guard, and I don't know how much that'll matter, but it probably will matter a little bit.
Yeah.
And I like Jared Stidham more than you like him so far, but I watched him at Baylor, and I thought he was pretty good, and he came out of sort of a run-and-shoot spread.
Sure.
You know, he gets how to throw the football, and we all know against St. Nick, when it starts to stink out there is when somebody can throw it,
Yeah.
you know, and they keep it honest and carry on, man. Carry on Johnson
He's
is
good.
just rolling. And they rolled Georgia. They demolished it. It was 40-17, and Georgia has, on paper, the second best defense. Maybe they're overrated. Maybe that's what we'll see at the end of the year. We'll say,
Well, they
oh,
just have no ability to throw it. So if they're in a game, Georgia just can't compete.
Yeah, they got a freshman
what did they
quarterback.
hold Nick Chubb to? 46 yards on like, he was 27 yards, but the whole
Sonny
rush.
Michel.
Yeah, they got 46 yards on 32 tries against the Auburn defense.
Yeah.
The Auburn defense is legit.
Yeah, they're very good.
It can stand up. So, again, remember, it's at Auburn, and I'm going to hark back to the last time Auburn beat Alabama. It was the kick six game, and the score was 34-28. And I'm going to say history repeats. I'm going to go Auburn 34-28.
Who would you take, Gus Malzahn or Nick Saban?
Nick Saban. I would over Gus Malzahn.
You take him
Although
over anybody.
I like Gus coaching his run game. It's very clever, very creative, and difficult to deal with.
I've been hearing some things about Gus Malzahn maybe wanting to get out, maybe wanting to go to Arkansas.
That's where he's
Some of the
from.
things.
That's
That's
where
where
he
he's
earned his
from.
spurs.
That job likely to open, so we'll see.
Okay.
Well, it's going to be a great lineup of games. Be sure to check out Joel and Gus from Michigan, Ohio State on Saturday.
No mercy.
Our next guest is one of the greatest basketball players of all time. His new book called Becoming Kareem. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, welcome to Undisputed. So good to have you.
Wow, now we have some true greatness at this table.
Yeah, two of us.
Well, I'm one of you.
What is the meaning behind the title of your book?
Well, I wanted to share with younger people what it means to figure out how to make your choices. And I refer to some of the mentors that I had, starting with my parents, and just the people that advised me, and some of the examples that I learned from. Sometimes they weren't always positive examples, but you have to get to a point where you can figure out what's good and what's not good. And I think young people would benefit from that if they read Becoming Kareem and get an opportunity to see how I did it.
So you wrote your first autobiography back in, I think it was 1983.
Yeah.
How different is the perspective in this book?
I think I put all the stuff that has made me wise, hopefully,
There's a lot.
in here, and that wasn't in the first one because I was a young man then and just still going through the process of learning about life.
The cover of the book, I noticed you have the UCLA uniform. And,
Bruins.
so is that where the process of becoming Kareem started?
No, really, it started when I was in grade school.
Okay.
And, you know, the things that stirred my consciousness and made me curious and at times apprehensive about becoming an adult. I think one incident that really affected me was the murder of Emmett Till.
Okay.
You know, I want to know why that happened to him. What did he do?
Right.
And my parents didn't really have the means to explain that to me.
Right.
You know, they didn't have the words, so I had to figure it out. So I watched the news, and the civil rights movement became a primary thing for me to pay attention to, because it concerned what my life was going to be about.
So speaking of UCLA and on to the current Los Angeles Lakers, what have you seen so far from Lonzo Ball, and what do you think of what you've heard so far from his father?
Well, you know, there's got to be a difference between noise and something that makes sense. So I really would like to hear, you know, how a parent teaches the lessons of life that really are important. No matter what your profession is going to be, a parent has to do that. I think Lonzo is a talented athlete, but his performance for the Lakers has been up and down.
Yep.
Rookies go through that. We'll see about that. That's still something that's coming into shape. But as far as you know, the other noise, it's just noise.
How much negative impact do you feel like father has had on son's early career?
Well, you know, parents are a very, very important aspect of character for children. So, you know, we'll find out exactly what's going on in that household when we see the product and the example that his kids are able to show the world. Yeah. You know, that's still a work in progress.
You played for the Lakers. You won championships with the Lakers. You were expected to win championship with the Lakers. Lonzo Ball was brought here to bring that 80s magic back to the Lakers. What advice would you give him?
Not to go too fast, too soon. He hasn't had the opportunity to play the game at the college level and learn what you learn in college.
Right.
You know, the discipline and how the game evolves. So he's got a lot to learn. He's got some talent. Let's give him an opportunity. You know, he's starting. They start so much younger now.
Right.
I was 22 when I was a rookie.
Right.
You start when you're 19, 20 years old. It's a different.
And obviously,
circumstance.
you weren't even allowed to play varsity basketball when you were in freshman year at UCLA.
Right. I think that was good for me. You know, because you had to develop. You had to beat a class on time and get your grades up and do things that have nothing to do with the sport, but just what that does for your work ethic and your ability to be a mature and contributor to a professional effort. That is something that is crucial that guys learn in college that is underappreciated, I think.
So you got to play with a young Magic Johnson. What did he mean to you as a player, and what will he mean going forward running the Lakers?
Well, I think Magic can be a great mentor to Lonzo. You know, he doesn't have to go very far, just upstairs to the office if he has some questions. Yep. So that's an asset for Lonzo to use to his benefit. I think couldn't be better in terms of.
And what was Magic like? Obviously, he's a little older also, but that rookie year with you and standing in for you, what was it like? What did you see in young Magic?
Well, I think that first game, you know, where we won the game on a last-second hook shot, and he went crazy, tackling me down, and I was like, Irvin, you know, we got 81 more games. You know, if we get to this emotional state after every game, we're going to be a wreck by Christmas. You know? But for me, it was a great lesson because he allowed me to understand it's all right to enjoy the moment.
Right.
And I hadn't been able to do that in my professional career up to that point, just because I was so focused. You know, I got to do this. And uphold all the dignity and all of that. And you don't have to carry that burden. You know, and that's what I learned from Magic. That really helped me.
It's funny that hearing you say that, you were at that point when Magic arrived in L.A., you had won 5 MVPs. Three. No, when Magic got there, you had won 5, right?
I'd won 3. I won
With
my
3
fourth.
Okay.
Yeah.
You won the 4th with Magic.
No,
rookie.
you're right.
You were 5.
Yeah.
And then you won the MVP that year,
that
but you
year.
made 6.
Yeah.
So you won 5 MVPs before Magic Johnson arrived in LA. You were the dominant player, the preeminent player. You won a championship. You won at every level.
At Milwaukee.
At Milwaukee, you won a championship. You won 3 titles at UCLA. And you mean to tell me you hadn't enjoyed the journey up until that point?
A lot of pressure not being able to bring the championship to LA.
Right.
It's not a one-man game.
Right.
But that I had that focus on me.
Right.
So that was the burden.
Right.
That's what I didn't like about it. And it weighs on you.
Right.
Magic gets here, he's smiling, and we're winning.
Yeah.
And
So
the
now you
pressure-
can really be you.
Yeah, all the pressure went away, and I could laugh about it. But it took that, it took a young man to come in and get me out of being the grumpy old guy because I was dealing with all of those issues.
Right.
So how do you think Magic will do trying to turn around the Lakers now?
It's not on him to do that. The players have to do that. It's in their lap. It's in the lap of the people who are trying to get the talent, the correct talent, that cohesive talent, because you can have some guys that are talented athletes, but they can't work together and they don't get anything done.
Right.
You've been through that.
Yes.
Yeah, so, that's what the issue is, and that takes some wisdom. I think there's enough of it there.
No mercy. Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. We're off tomorrow, but Skip and Shannon will be back on Friday at the same time, 9:30 Eastern. Have a great Thanksgiving, everyone.
Fox Sports, 1 of 1.